way we can help. So I started exploring what are the processes that they're running. And it's hard because you need to interview a lot of people, and these people are super busy. They're hamsters in the wheel, there's more work waiting for them. They don't have the time to be interviewed. We have the lean design team, that is actually quite good. But in order to get any minute from these people who are really bogged down into this heavy processes, it's really, really hard. Plus, they're not going to tell you everything. Sometimes they even forget. They're not going to tell you, oh, we'll do this, and that's exactly how things work. So in order to capture everything, it's almost impossible. So we started thinking about, is there a solution out there where we could bring something automated where we can discover the processes? And this is how, I've heard about many tools, and, we looked at a number of them. One was Steerlogic, and now there's Celonis, and, there's a bunch of them, probably you're aware of them. And we decided to give a chance to Steerlogic, and really the reason is because we know that we have a lot of manual work in end-user computing. We knew that. Like, rarely people are, having the tools or one tool to go to. We knew that there's many tools they use. We knew that they manipulate data. We just didn't know how and to which extent and what exactly is the problem. So, other tools, they require looking at history and the logs. You need to collect the logs. It usually, when I checked, some people did the POC, it's usually like 6-month process. I didn't have 6 months. I already have a 4-year project. I need to do it now. So, we decided to give Steerlogic a shot because it's as simple as just putting something on a laptop and monitor, and that's it. It took us literally 2 weeks. Like, it took us longer to get our own server, our own process in Banks and Sun Life. It was a bit faster, but it took us 2 weeks to actually get Steerlogic in and get things done. And then, we knew that it's a lengthy process. It was every month they have to do certain things, across pretty much all the weeks. So we had to run that process for 2 weeks. So we collected a lot of data. So I'm going to jump into this quickly. On this slide, again, I'm deviating a little bit from the agenda, but I talked about the business goals. Like, we have to scale our operations. We're onboarding more clients. We're rapidly growing business. We cannot afford not to tell our front office, stop. We cannot get it done. They keep onboarding clients, which is good. Well, paid by, the number of clients or the revenue we make. So it's good for us. But at the same time, our operations people are hamsters in the wheel. Client experience, we have a lot of problems on, when we deliver the reports, because it's all a heavy manual process. We have checkers on top of the checkers. Like, our front office checks the reports because they don't trust the data. It's all manual. So I think we've analyzed about 40 people touching the reports before they go out, manually. 40 people. So it's not good. And then we have errors. We've had errors in the reports. Last thing you want is the client calling you and saying, this is not right. Your reputation goes down the drain, right? So quality is super, super important. And automation and transformation, as we all want to, our people to focus on the value at work, not the monkey at the keyboard work, right? So as I mentioned, we had the processes scattered across multiple weeks, multiple systems, very unstructured, and very ad hoc. We actually didn't have same people doing the same thing. Everybody kind of did whatever they thought is the right thing to do. So we don't have a common process either. Noise in the middle. So how can we collect all of this data without having to spend weeks and weeks and valuable time of our employees who are spending all this time on process? How do we understand where the problem is? Why are they using all of this Excel spreadsheet? Supposedly you can guess, if we collect all the data in one place, it will solve the problem. But guess what? Which data? If we collect, sometimes I've been on many, many data projects. You think you've collected everything. Especially it took you 2 years, you worked really hard. And then the business comes in and says, we're not going to use it. Why? Oh, you're missing that data. Okay, now the process starts again. 6 months later, you come back, we added this data. And they're like, but I need that data. So they will never come and use it. So That's the real problem. So you need to really understand what problem you're solving. So moving on, how do we transform? So I talked a little bit about Stereologic, why. For me, it was really important to get it done fast. Like the tools like data mining, they come and go. You use them, you stop using them. You use them, you stop using them. They're not like your corporate applications that you install and you invest and they're 2 years long. It's something that you want to use fast and get value right away. So we spent 2 months on the POC simply because we had a long-running processes. If you don't have long-running processes, you can analyze, say if you want to analyze a specific task or a process that, you just want to know how users are using your application today, right? It could take you a week, literally, and you get your data. So we really needed something really, really quick without a lot of effort. I didn't have a lot of money. Scrambled to find some money for this. It's hard to prove the value for these tools, right? Because, I don't know how it's hard to find any funding these days, but, how do you prove the value? We don't know what we're going to uncover, right? So you cannot really define the value. But the nice thing about Stereologic was that we put it in place really quickly, and majority of the money we spent on a POC, we've used professional services because we wanted to get it done quickly. I couldn't afford by a lean team to learn about the tool as well, so they helped us a lot. So we spent some money there, but it was under 100K, quick 2 months POC. We've done it and we've completed it. And this is what I liked about it. And we didn't need to collect any logs. You didn't need to involve your infrastructure. How hard, I don't know if anybody is from big organizations where you need to put an intake and wait until the infrastructure gets involved. And like it takes you just months to get the project organized. You don't need to do that, right? You're in your power. And then there's no concerns about privacy, like banks, insurance. We're part of the insurance company, we care about. And employee privacy is really important, like in this case. So, you can actually hide and mask the data that you're collecting as well. So what have we uncovered? I'm not going to go over the details here. As I said, 2 months. We only looked at 3 representative employees who we trusted that they actually knew what they were doing. The employees actually welcome. I would say one feedback that was very interesting after we've completed the POC and we've shown the results, the feedback from one of the managers was, oh my God, I didn't know I was doing that. That is powerful, right? I didn't know, this person was doing that process months over months. And his comment was, I didn't know I was doing that. So, we've analyzed over 2 months, the reality was that people spent 5 hours on the specific process that we were interested in, but it was unstructured and cluttered across, the overall 2 months. As I said, the diverse set of applications. And I'm going to move on. This is just examples. The amount of information that the tool gives you is enormous. And it tracks pretty much everything. Everything that employees do, you have down to every click. But what's nice about it, also analyzes it automatically. It pulls these pieces of information together into a set that the lean team can now look at and interpret. So the lean team doesn't need to do this manual heavy-duty work to go and collect this data. It's all at their fingerprint. They can go interpret it. They can ask the intelligent questions now from this business user to say, why did you do that? It seems like you've spent so much time in this Excel spreadsheet manipulating this data. Or more important, what we found there was very interesting, things that we didn't know. People were taking data from our book of records, and they were manipulating it. Like, how wrong is that? And the question, why did you manipulate the data? Oh, the data is blank. And why is it blank? Or we don't know. This is how we do it. It's blank, so we bring data from somewhere else and we populate it. And like this was just the discovery that your data hub is not going to solve that problem, because data hub believes in book of record is the right data. So if we don't fix the fundamental problem of the book of record being consistent and accurate, let's take a look at that field that gets constantly, months over months, the same problem. Operations teams have to fill that record in, and they make mistakes. It's as simple as that. So that was a big revelation, one example of what the tool discovered. And I put nice process maps where you can actually see at a higher level, and then you can drill down to the details to say, this is what the user has done. And then you can also compare between the users. Sometimes, you know, I don't know how many times we had to create training materials. This is what I'm planning to use the tool for. Very powerful. You know, we have a new system. We just put it in place. It's called eFront. It's a workflow tool for our deal origination. Beautiful system, but nobody knows how to use it. We have super user who knows how to use it, so we record them. We can record them, and it creates a nice, beautiful training materials without, you know, putting a BSA or BA valuable time to, again, document everything and train. So, and you know, it creates certain charts where it demonstrates, you know, by application, how much how much time is being spent for each, where's the most effort goes. So, for example, in our case, 98% of the process time went into data manipulation.